I'm at the Parc Naturel de Es Albufera de Escalma. I spent so long memorizing that, I still had to read it off the board. I don't trust myself. Now, yeah, back here again. We came here last year for the first time. Stunningly beautiful scenery, but low on the bird species, I'm afraid. It looks like it should hold a lot more. And I believe it's probably a place you need to come to in the winter. I get told by experienced birders that you come down to Portugal, Spain and places like this, Mallorca, Menorca, to get the birds migrating back to Africa. There's very little here. Coming on the way down here, I pulled over for a booted eagle. It looked like it'd come over to the road, but didn't. But yeah, I didn't come out till late today, so I'm getting as much footage and film of anything I see. So many red kite, but it's like one in every 2 birds here is a red kite. It's amazing. None at the moment. Oh yeah, yellow-legged gull coming over my head. It's weird, on this mirador, I'm on the mirador, the lookout, and none of the raptors go by this. It's been really strange. I don't know why. But yeah, there was, on a pylon, there was a raven, and I used the sunroof. Really handy again, like I said, put the top down completely so I didn't disturb it by opening the door. And even though it's a black bird in this harsh light, it was close enough there wasn't too much heat haze. So you go down to, if you want the southern section where all these lakes are and reservoirs, the northern section I think it's more kind of hiking trails, and this is for the water. You drive down to Escral and you park here, free car park, massive, hundreds of cars can get in here. You walk up the cycle lane, watching out for the horse poop. You get to the gate here, and on the right I saw just gadwall and mallards. Last year 3 black crowned night herons, not this time. That's a shame. I was hoping to add those to my list. And came in and there was a bird called, looked over, and it was a black-winged stilt. Hello, thank you. I'd seen a couple from a distance and I've finally got some frame filling footage. Super happy about that. Yeah, I thought when I'd just do that thing where I carefully set my tripod up and lift my camera, and I think it's going to fly, and it didn't. So I filmed, it was, because it was so close, the heat haze was minimal, and I got plenty of footage to overlay right now. So there's a pond over there behind us which has about 15 or 20, so the numbers here are quite big. Everything else is coots, gadwalls and mallards, and I'm having to scan everything because everything's in silhouette. But with the mirrorless, what I can do is I can overexpose to compensate for silhouetted birds. And I thought I saw a dead bird because it looked like a leg hanging up in the water, but turned out to be a grey crested grebe. And even though it would have been a record shot, I thought, forget it, I'll get some later. It was such a bad bit of video, it was so distant I didn't even bother. But as soon as I got to the end of the walkway, it was like, bam, there they are. 2 of them, close enough that heat haze was minimal. Frame filling, I got them both in the frame. Wonderful, excellent. So that goes on the list. That bulks me up a little bit after being let down by the night herons. I thought they might pull up a big fish or something, because in the UK, people photograph them and video them with huge fish, and they're like cormorants. They're like the miniature versions of cormorants. So, but they didn't pull up anything here. I think they were just pulling up little tiddlers. And got to you get to the end of the walkway, and it looks like it ends there. But if you've seen my previous video, you can walk up this section here, turn right. The walkway, the wooden walkway, stops, and it just becomes some, it just looks like a worn path. But the sign is there for the mirador, and you get to these steps. Don't worry, it is a little bit. So if you've got bad knees or anything, be aware there is a bit of a walk, and then you've got to go back down, but not too high. Look, I mean, you can see you're not too high up here. And anything else to add? Yeah, I love all the little tiles here. Remember those from last year? The vegetation, all the birds. And I always say, falk, I don't know what that is. It's probably supposed to represent a kestrel, and that's supposed to be a booted eagle, red kite. No osprey yet, no osprey. I'm sure we'll see them at some point. There's a lot of flying around, but it's all mallards and things like that. Like I've said before, this isn't, I think you have to come to a place like this. I've been told by more experienced birders that you have to come to these areas for migrating birds in huge numbers when they're going to Africa in the winter. It's not going to be anything in the summer, I'm afraid. Even in the spring, which you assume is going to be good, but that's going to be more of the smaller, the warblers and all those kind of things that are nesting and feeding young, but not for wader numbers. Just wanted a little catch up. I'll show you at first. I actually managed to film a hoopoe calling. Fantastic. Landed in a really annoying angle in that tree, and I'll have to amp up the volume a bit, but check it out. So now I've got the hoopoe feeding in the nest, I've got the hoopoe foraging, I've got the hoopoe calling. Excellent. I'm building up an exceptionally good library of hoopoe stuff. I'm over at Son Park, just picked up a coffee. I wanted to go and see the wetlands again because I wanted to see if there's anything I'd missed. Maybe if the crossbill came out. I checked for the nightjar. I walked up and down this area after getting my coffee to check for the nightjar. Nothing's going on. Might have been the time of day. It might have been mistaken for another bird. I was ever hopeful. There you go. When I finished up at the S. albufera, the wetlands yesterday, in the lake area, I went down to the wooded area in the north. Down to the north? Yeah, to the north. It's always back to front when you... Yeah. Anyway, went in there. Loads of good bird song. Nothing unusual. There were loads of nightingales, blackcaps calling, goldfinch, greenfinch, Chetty's warbler. Even a Chetty's warbler even landed on a branch and looked at me for about a minute. And down this way, I had them in Menorca as well. They come out a lot more often than our UK ones do. I managed to get a photo of that. And then a goldfinch that it looked a bit odd because it didn't have the full adult plumage, but it landed very close to me in a tree. And instinctively, immediately, I thought it looked injured. And I took a photograph and I looked at it and the eyes half closed. And there looks like, I don't know if it's a mite or something or a tick on its neck. So I don't know how much longer that's going to last, if that's the end of it. You know, it's only got so long to live, or whether that thing falls off and it gets on with its life. I don't know. And I've not done this on the actual day it happens, but because I didn't want to give away the location. But one of the days I've been here, obviously, I've looked out at some rocks and I saw a little stick in the distance. So I've got the camera out because I do check everything. And I could see even from the distance, a great distance, it was a peregrine falcon just perched there like that. So I got out, walked out and filmed 4K crop from a distance. So a little bit shaky in the wind just to see. I think it's a female, it looks pretty big, and judging on the sort of feather pattern, I'm learning if it's completely white up top, it's male. And if it's white at the top with some of the patterning going up more into the chest, then it's a female. And if you get them side by side, you'll tell because it's bigger. But it did, I mean, you could tell from a distance it looked bigger. Now I've got a bit of footage. I wanted to take a couple of pictures. So tried getting a little bit closer, got the camera ready, and it just sank off behind the cliffs. And I went, oh, well, there you go. And it flew up and went as if it was going to circle me, fired off some shots. Then it let out a warning call or something like that. I went, right, okay. It's probably got eggs and nest or whatever over there, chicks. Okay, I'm off and keep this quiet. And obviously I kept my head on a swivel, because if it decides to take a dive at me with those claws, I've seen the videos where they go after not only prey, but anything threatening its chicks or its eggs. They just go at it 200 miles an hour. Can you imagine that, hitting the back of your head at 200 miles an hour? So yeah, walked away and kept looking back. And obviously I'm now adding it onto the later date because I don't want anyone to know the location. Because yeah, people out there steal eggs. So I think I've caught up with that. And then just say, as I came out today, the bottom of the road out of Arenell, over the roundabout, I've seen it a couple of days ago. A Tawny Pipit was on a wire. And I thought, okay, the light's good enough. So I went down the road, really chilled, calm. I took some photos, swung around. So I was on the right side facing it, and then set to video and got some of its call. So I'm building up a really good, again, library of bird calls here. We've got our boat ride this afternoon from Four Nells going to the north side of the island, so fingers crossed for shearwaters. And just to catch up, I'm at Son Park again, come for my morning coffee, and these woods are probably the best bet for a bit of bird photography. this time of day. It's protecting me from the sun, the wind is low, and there is lots going on in here. I'm convinced I'm going to find something in here. This is where the nightjar was heard, somewhere in Son Park. Now, I'm away from it now, so I can tell you about the bit of footage. I went back and got the hoopoe nest again. I can't say date and time, obviously. I don't want to give away locations or any indicator where I got it. So anyway, this time I got the chick sticking its head out and calling. Now I was fighting a lot of heat haze and wind. I had the camera on a tripod and I was using my phone as a remote trigger. And yeah, so I'll have to probably film for 2 minutes. I'll take off as much of the good footage, usable footage as I can of the chick. And what I could do was wait and watch the bird appearing, because what they did was they would land nearby. They wouldn't just go straight to the nest. I think they're checking that the coast is clear, that they're not giving away the nest location. And then I could fire the recording. And then anyway, so the first clip you saw in the first part 1 of the videos, I only got flycatcher. I only got like literally 1 second. It was on the nest, half a second. This time I think it was on there for between 7 and 10 seconds. Very happy with that. There's a very slight bit of wind at the beginning, but the rest of it's pretty good. I nailed that because I had to manually focus, which was really difficult in the heat haze, because I could see my focusing disappearing in and out in that heat haze and the winds. Yeah, anyway, but I'm super happy with that. I've got some excellent extra footage, and I did get it a couple more times, but I'll show you what I'm dealing with. It was like just the tiniest little bit of wind, but it just shook the camera so much that it's unusable. But mega happy with that. I'll probably pop back one more time before we leave just to see how things are going. And I did the sort of the road by Four Nails where the bee eaters usually are, that no name area, and stopped by the Edar water treatment works again. And the red kites are really good there. I was checking into the water to see if there were any more waders that I could add to my lists, because I haven't got any new species yesterday. Nothing in there again, just pochards, coots, moorhens, little grebes. But the red kites always give me, I mean, it was a layup shot with this red kite, so I just filmed it to add to the footage. And just on the way back from my drive last night, a Woodchat Shrike gave us some footage near a little farm I was able to pull in and stick out the top of the convertible. Like I said, we've been coming to Menorca. We first came in 2001. I think we didn't go again until 2013. And from 2013, we almost came every year, a couple of times, twice a year. And just to say, if you're familiar with the area up here, Son Park, Arenal, that there's no back road between the two. There kind of was a dirt path, a bit of a dirt path. And it looked like it was never going to be done. I thought they didn't want the extra traffic going through. But to this time, I was looking on the map and it looked like there was a very distinct road. And I thought, yeah, but there's going to be a barrier or something. So last night I drove it, and sure enough, you can get through. I mean, I've just timed it coming in that way. It's about, from where we are in Arenal, the further end of Arenal, it takes about 8 minutes, 7-8 minutes. So going down to the ME7 and round, it isn't that big a deal. It's 12 minutes saving, but you can, you go slowly through the back roads up here and it's nice and wooded and nice houses. It's quiet. So I'd do that. I'd choose to do that anytime, but it's good to know that now exists. This has been amazing. Firecrest. I'm probably going to use the mic on the phone and not the DJI, because I want you to hear everything. So many Firecrest down here, loads. Here's some footage. The road to the beach is down there at Son Park. I'm just on the outer road between the marsh and the actual resort. But you'll probably hear stuff. I'll walk along and I'll speak, and you'll probably hear stuff as I walk, and I'll point it out to you. chatties. So there's always some construction in the background. Hopefully won't be picking up too much of that. Anyway, let's just get straight to this. I heard a scops owl, there is no doubt. Now, I don't think I've recorded a vlog bit about hearing it where we are in Arenal. I can't remember now, I haven't been keeping check. What I'll do is I'll probably edit it out if I already have. So I'll just talk about it. At Arenal the other night, it was about 8 o'clock. It wasn't even dark yet. And I thought I'd go for a walk in the woods, last bit of light. And the first call, I said, no. And then it went again. I went, it stopped. And I got my phone out for the record to know I'm not going insane. I think it called only twice, maybe even 3 times. And that was it. And I thought, did I really hear it? And I searched those trees, getting my legs eaten to bits. No joy. So I'm wondering now if I even heard it. But just a moment ago, I'm going to have to cut it and put multiple calls over. I heard it call about 3 times, and I recorded on my phone video, and it called the very second I started recording. Therefore, I don't know if I'll just, here it is, and I'll do it multiple times. That's definitely a scops. And I went into the wood here, I got my legs bitten again, and yeah, I searched and searched, couldn't find it, but it didn't call again. I don't know why it called so early in the day. I mean, it did happen in Lesvos. I remember up in the mountains, I heard a scops owl calling in the afternoon. Therefore, I've heard one at Arenal and I've heard one here. There was a big release program apparently up on the mountain in the middle, the highest mountain, and they release loads. And somebody said there was online. There's been a record of 4 owls, and somebody down in the south at a resort down there. So they're all over the island. It's just going to be seeing one. What I might do now is, now I know they're here, I might go out at night and listen and see if I can find them, get a picture, because I've done so successfully. I've got my speed light with me. Fingers crossed. Then just the spotted flycatchers, I'm just going to keep taking pictures because they just keep presenting so many opportunities. Some here grabbing material, nesting material. But look at this list. I've been running my Merlin app, and it's picking up the correct stuff because I know what they sound like. Now look at that: bee eaters, Zitting cisticola, blackcaps, nightingales, hoop-hoos, constant turtle doves along this route, dozens of them. They're here en masse. Fantastic, lovely to hear. The bee eaters was funny because when I heard it, I thought, it's something by the marsh, and because I wasn't expecting to hear it, I didn't clock it that it was a bee eater. And I looked down, what is that on my Merlin? And of course it's a bee eater, so I ran over to see if it was on the wires, but no, none of them had settled on the wires. But the roads are just like this. The trees on both sides protected, and lots and lots of sounds. Most of the sounds coming, all the smaller birds. There's a lot of flycatchers. They're very light chirps that almost sound like firecrest. Just coming back up to the road down to the beach here, and you can just hear turtle doves purring constantly. And look up there, and I see 2 birds. Could be collared doves, could be wood pigeons. It's 2 turtle doves. So plotted up the camera on a tripod, and I'm just filming them. Awesome. Greenfinch, hoopoo, coots, little grebes maybe, house sparrows, common nightingale. You can hear the purring. Probably a spotted fly there. Anyway, that's fantastic. Super happy with that. I think the 2 slightly different shades there, maybe the lighter one's a female, the right one's a male. I'm going to go find that out and see if there is a noticeable difference, and then let you know.